Hi, and welcome to the Skill Garage. I am Michael Ackman, and I am the lead business analysis instructor here at the Skill Garage. Today, I will be helping you understand business analysis. What exactly is business analysis? Who is a business analyst? What does a business analyst do? What does business analysis entail? All of these things and more you will get to learn in this class. Now, if you like this video, please do subscribe. If you like our content, please do subscribe and make sure to share with someone who you think will benefit from our teachings and our trainings. Okay? All right. Please like, share, and subscribe. I will see you in class. Bye. Okay. You can confirm that it's recording, right? Because I don't know what's happening with my Zoom. It's not giving me feedback that it's recording. Can someone confirm that it started recording on your end? Okay, it is recording. Perfect. Because there was one day I walked through the whole thing and it was not recorded. I was like, hey, Jesus. All right. Quick. Few things I need to do at this point. The tempo is high. I'm passionate when it comes to teaching. So you can see my blood is hot right now. Okay. So if you are new, completely new to business analysis, I want you to put yes in the chat. Like you've never done anything before. You've not even checked it out on YouTube. You don't even understand what they're saying. You are the one I'm talking to now. You are new, completely new. It is you I want to talk to today. I want to make sure that when you dream this night, you are dreaming business analysis. That's what I want it to be. I want you to dream it tonight. Perfect. All right, let's kick off. Now, what I like to do, okay, when I teach is I like to take people from first principles. You know what is called first principles? When you do further maths or when you do mathematics, you teach from first principles. What it means is that you take from the basics. You start from what we know, and then you take us to what we don't know. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's how I love to teach. I love to take you from what you know, and then I will move you into the domain of the unknown. Does that make sense? So today, I'm going to start with the concept of change. So I want you to follow me as I navigate these waters, and I will start from the concept of change. All right? Are we there? Now, class has started. I want you to observe the following set of slides quickly. All right? Observe the following set of slides. Now, this is the same spot, the same place. All right? But I want you to observe 1991, 2014. Okay? I want you to observe. Are we observing? Now, for those of you who don't know who is on the screen, I can categorically tell you that it's the same person. Okay? It's the same person. Okay? Some people call this person senior man. Okay? But it's the same person. I can categorically tell you that this is the same person. So just observe the slides. All right? Okay? Observe the slides. I just want you to do some observation here. So get your pen and paper ready. I want you to do some observation here, and we'll do some bit of, chit chat on the call. All right. Are you observing? I hope you're making your observations. Very important. I want you to do some observation. Hope you're still observing, eh? Observe. I want you to observe. I just want you to observe. In one word, what did you observe so far? Maybe you want to put it in the chat quickly so that we don't waste time, because I know people will try to unmute, but let's do it in the chat quickly. Somebody's saying change. I don't want you to use the word change. Use something else. Somebody's saying, I saw Bob. Who is Bob? I don't want trouble. I don't know Bob. I know senior man. Okay, somebody said metamorphosis. Somebody said evolution. Somebody said transformation. Somebody said upgrade. Somebody said development, better understanding of the business they do. Somebody said innovation. Somebody said transformation, development. I like these words. Update, improvement, transition. I like the things I'm saying. Okay, good. Transition, improvement, update, innovation. Now, you can begin to see the different words that you use in describing what you've just seen. All right, transition, upgrade, update, innovation, and all of that stuff. Now, Truly, if you want to look at everything you've just said, we can summarize it in one word called change. So you begin to see that this word called change actually means a lot of things. Does that make sense? That's what I wanted to show you first, that you could say a lot of things that actually means change. That actually means change. So change could be improvement, update, innovation, progress, blah, 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 and all those things that you've just mentioned right now is called change. But let me still put it in perspective. Now, let me start from here. You want to agree with me that change is inevitable? True or false? In this life that we are, change is inevitable. Is that true or false?
True.
True, right? Thank you for that solid answer. True. It's a rhetoric. It's very true. Even if you say you don't want to change, things will change and they will leave you behind. Do you get that? Even if you decided you did not want to, you want to deliberately not change and stay on the same spot, things will move. And by reason of relativity, you would have changed, but in a very backward, but not you. I'm not talking about you. You will improve. You are going, further. All right. But things would have changed. And that entity that decided not to change by reason of relativity will be retrogressing. So change is inevitable. Now, you would see that this is the reason that every day companies are driving change. Because the companies know. Everybody right now is trying to do AI. They're trying to change something. You see, everybody's trying to do something. ChatGPT came up. Microsoft decided to buy. Google declared the code red because they knew if they don't do something, Microsoft will scoop up their shares, their market share. So they did code red. 3 months, they came up with bad. So change is happening every day. You are silently going to work, doing your own. Everybody's changing. Companies are changing. That company just changed their logo, and you think it's all about a logo? You think they changed is just about a logo? It's not a logo. They're driving change. They're driving digital transformation. They're driving digital acceleration. They're driving upgrades to their services. They're driving and launching new services and products every day. They are rebranding in one way. They are doing policy development. They are doing organizational changes, process improvements. They're trying to enter a new market. Change is happening constantly, daily on companies. Do you get what I'm saying? Change is happening. Now, if there's nothing that guarantees you that there will always be a business analyst job, this is one thing to guarantee you. And I'll tell you the reason why. We are getting there. Now, let's talk about change. Change occurs in one of two ways. Change occurs in one of two ways. Now, if there's another way that you know, tell me. I learn every day. Now, when you talk about change, it's one of these two things that would have occurred. Number one is either you are creating something new or something already exists and you are modifying it to be better. I'll repeat again. Change will occur in one of two ways. Number one, either you are creating something new, brand new, or you are modifying something that already exists. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that if you talk about change, all the things I've showed you now, like all the things I showed you, it falls under these two categories. Creating something new or modifying something that already exists. Now, please listen carefully, because most of the things I say here, you won't find it on textbook. Remember, I told you that our curriculum was built from industry to industry. It was based on practicality. So just please give me attention here. Don't miss anything I'm saying. It will build up to help you understand who a business analyst is. Some of you who can already see the future already know where I'm going. So change occurs in one of two ways. You are creating something new or you are modifying something that already exists. Let's keep going. So question is, what inspires a change? Quickly, this is where I want you to jump in. Can you throw it in the chat? I know that if everybody starts talking now, it may get a bit rowdy, but let's throw it in the chat. What initiates a change? What inspires a change? Anybody knows? Please put it in the chat. I want to see. Quick. What do you think inspires a change? Somebody said problem. Somebody said need for new. Somebody said need. Somebody said growth. Somebody said need for improvement. Somebody said need for growth. Somebody said competition. Okay, good, good, good. Higher profit, expansion, current realities. Thank you, Esther. All right. Now, if you look at all of these things that you've said, boring systems or complex systems or redundant systems, curiosity, thank you. Now, if you look at all of these things, we can also use one word to describe everything you've said. It's a need. It's a need. Do you see that? It's a need. I'm getting somewhere with this. So there is change on the one hand, which is inevitable, which companies need to evolve all the time. And that is driven because there is a need. So meaning that changes occurs because there is a need. Now the question is, what exactly is a need? Let's get into that. Now a need is either a problem you are trying to solve. Please listen to this carefully. Don't miss it. A need is either a problem you are trying to solve or an opportunity you are trying to cultivate. So need is not always a problem. In business analysis, we do not always look at need from the perspective of a problem. Yes, it can be a problem. Yes, it can be a pain point. Yes, it can be a redundant system. Yes, it could be any of these things, a problem, a constraint. They are all problems. But it is not always a problem. Sometimes it's an opportunity to be cultivated. There are new markets to be cultivated. Why did we go to Dubai? Because our data is showing that people are hitting us from Dubai. It's an opportunity, so we decided to exploit. Why are we deciding to go to New Zealand by the end of the year? We are still looking at the data. The data is informing us, go, go, go. I was in touch, in fact, about 2 weeks ago, I was in touch with somebody there. You see? Why? It's not a problem for me. It's just an opportunity. So need is not always a problem. It can also be an opportunity to be cultivated. Now, stick with me, taking you on a journey here. Let's pause. And now I want to ask you a question that is not a question. You know when you ask a question that is not a question? It means that the answer is embedded in the question, meaning that the answer, it's a rhetoric. Are all changes successful? Are all changes successful? No. 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 No, the answer, the flat answer is no. Not all changes are successful. Not all changes are successful. We say that a change is successful when it delivers value. When it delivers value or the intended benefit. Value and or the intended benefit. That is when you say that something was successful, the change was successful. Now, what I want you to do quickly in the next 1 minute is for you to look at this beautiful picture that I got online, okay? And I've had it for a while now, and it helps me to explain this part of, you know, of the conversation. Okay, so let's examine this for a minute. I want you to look, is this a successful change? And why do you think it's not a successful change? I want you to examine this for a minute. Let's have a discussion. This time, I think I would like 1 or 2 people to just chat. You know, that's how I like my class to be. I want people to talk. It's just that I have a race against time, but again, if we don't finish this, we don't have to finish it. We can continue on Thursday. All right? Is this a successful change? Patience, I see you wanna say something. Go ahead.
No, it's not a successful change because everybody has a different view of what I think the customer wants.
Okay, everybody has different views of what the customer wants. Okay, good. Niru.
Yeah, because I don't think the need was fulfilled in this. So this is not a successful change.
You don't think the need was actually fulfilled, right? Okay,
yeah.
A successful change. Now, let me ask one other question. I know you're not I know you're not a mind reader, but is there anything in particular that stood out to you? Because look at how the customer explained it. Look at how the project leader understood it. Look at how the engineer designed it. Look at how the programmer wrote it. Look at how the sales executive described it. Look at how the project was documented. Look at what operations installed, how the customer was billed, how the help desk supported it, and what the customer really needed. Do you think there's anything that stands out to you in this mix, in this collage?
Yes.
I think
There is no coordination.
No coordination.
Communication.
I think we are not aligned on the same page. They didn't understand what they are supposed to do.
Thank you. I like everything that you guys have said. Ebere, Ike, Nosa, thank you, everyone. But let me tell you one thing that you would notice now. Okay, so you can mute yourself now. T, thank you, T. T said, what the customer wants is not what the customer explained. Can you imagine that? Please look at it again. Can you see what the customer really needed? Look at how the customer explained it. Ah, you didn't see that, right? Look at that. Thank you, T. Look at what the customer really needed. Look at how the customer explained it. Two different perspectives, right? That is to tell you that even the client, the customer sometimes needs help in interpreting the need. You did not hear me. That for a change to be successful, sometimes even the customer, the owner of the pain point, needs help in interpreting the need. That's it. It's right in front of us. Because even, okay, let's assume that they got what he said right and they implemented everything he said. Would they have met his need? Let's assume that they heard him right and they did all that he wanted. Would they have helped him to achieve the need? Huh? No, because he himself was not able to articulate. So you can begin to see where the problem was. And you begin to see where the business analyst is required. And I will say a few things afterwards. I just want you to have this picture at the back of your mind as we progress. So you can see that from the image I just showed you, that when we want to create a change, especially in a business context, different parties are involved. You saw that, right? Yeah, especially in a business, in an organization. When you want to carry out a change, different parties are involved. That's the first thing you'll notice here. Project leader, engineer, programmer, sales executive, different parties are involved. That's the first thing you notice. That when a change wants to happen in an organization, there will be different individuals, different organizations, different departments that are brought into the picture. Now, these parties that are in this picture, in trying to bring out the change, they need to be aligned. They need to be aligned on the change. They need to be aligned on the solution. They need to be aligned on the approach. They need to be aligned on all the other ingredients that molds the change. Oh, you are getting it. They need to be aligned. You see? They will come together on what is called a project, and I'm going to talk about that very soon. Because as a business analyst, when you get into your company, they will not say, Abdullahi, I want to put you on a change. Donatus, I want to put you on a change. Che, I want to put you on a change. That's not what they say. They would say, I want to put you on a project. So the project then becomes the vehicle for the change. So typically you see these parties come together on what is called a project, which is typically a sequence of tasks and activities that must be completed so that the change can happen, so that you can have an outcome. Please stick with me. I'm getting somewhere with this. Now I have showed you that there is change always happening. I've told you that the change is inspired by a need. I've told you that the need is not always a problem. Sometimes it's an opportunity. I've told you that even the person who has the need may not be able to talk about the need, so he needs some kind of need assessment. I've told you that these parties, there will be several parties involved in trying to push the change and make the change a reality. But these parties need to be of the same mind. They need to know where they are going. They need to be able to see the same North Star and head for the North Star together. They need to be able to see it, align, and move in the same direction. Are you with me? So these parties will come together on what is called a project to pursue the change. We already established that. Now the question is, who will help these parties? Who will help these different parties align on the components of the change? Who will help them align on the process? Who will help them align on the opportunity? Who will help them align on the need, on the solution, Who will help them align on the steps involved, what we need to do now, what we need to do later, what is changing, the pain point, the features, what should remain, what we should keep now, what we should do later, the difficulties, the product, the problem. Who is going to help everybody align on the several components of the change? Who is that person? I guess you already know. He's the business analyst. He's the business analyst. Okay, now you're beginning to get a sense, but we are not there yet. You're beginning to get a sense. So now that you know that, let me introduce you to business analysis. Let me help you understand business analysis. And for me to be able to do that, I will start with the textbook, but I will not end with the textbook. I will end with the Skill Garage textbook. Does that make sense? So let me start with what you know from the Babok guide. So what is Babok? Now, IIBA is the International Institute of Business Analysts. Babok is the business analysis book of knowledge, just like you have the PM book, okay, the project management book of knowledge. You have the Babok guide, the business analysis book of knowledge. Now, that is where I got this from. It has gone through different iterations and different editions. This is the 3rd edition, okay? So that's why you have V 3.0, okay, version 3.0. Now, that is where I took this definition from. So I want you to listen to the definition, and I want you to have a mental note of what you understand. Because after 15 minutes or after 10 minutes, I will give you another definition, and then you'll be able to see where your understanding lies. Is that okay? Now, let's look at this together. The IIBA actually defines business analysis as the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. How many of you understand that? If you understand it fully, put yes in the chat.
Yes.
You understand it fully? Okay, so some of you are still a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
some of you that are saying yes now, you will say yes, yes when I finish. Okay, all right. You will say yes, yes when I finish. So, okay, let's almost there. Okay, okay. All right, so let's go back on mute and then I would explain a few things. Is that okay? I'll explain a few things and make things a bit clearer. Now, let's take a few things from this definition and I will help you reshape things, okay? Business analysis is the practice of enabling change. Let's underline change. In an enterprise, let's underline enterprise. By defining needs, let's underline needs. And recommending solutions, let's underline solutions. That deliver value, let's underline value. And to stakeholders, let's underline that. Now I'm going to take it piecemeal and I will decompose this for you and break it down and help you understand business analysis. Are we there? Let's go. Change. Remember that I told you that change is either creating something new or modifying something that already exists. Remember? That is what I told you. It is modifying something that already exists or creating something new. So if you take that and put it into the equation, for those of you who don't like maths, I have come again. I'm here to torture you. I'm sorry about that. I'm not torturing anybody. Okay, but let's just take it as though we are doing maths, right? We take this and we put it into the equation, okay? Then we replace change and we say business analysis is the practice of enabling something new. Are you getting it now? Aha. Business analysis is the practice of enabling something new or modifying something that already exists in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. I'm not done yet. I know you're beginning to understand it clearer. Let us go. The next thing I want to talk to you about is enterprise. Enterprise is organization or a group of organizations. You agree with me? Yes, that's what enterprise is. It's an organization or a group of organizations. Now, is there an organization with that product? What actually makes up an organization? What actually makes up an enterprise? Let's be realistic. What is an enterprise without its products? What is an enterprise without its processes, without policies, without people, without technology, and all the subsets of the organization, whatever that is, departments, think about it. You see, So there is no enterprise, there is no organization without these components: people, product, process, policies, technology, and the subsets of the organization. So if you take that and you just plug that into that definition, this is what you will have. That business analysis is the practice of enabling something new, which could be a product. So it could be a new product. Hey, you're getting it. Or a new process. Or a product that was already there and you are modifying it. Or a process that was already becoming complex and redundant and you are modifying it. Or a technology that has been there for years, it's archaic and it's legacy. You are changing it and migrating people to a new system. So business analysis is the practice of enabling this change, this something new, or modifying something that already exists, which for an enterprise, you're not looking at it as an enterprise, you're looking at it as the component of the enterprise, like changing a product, creating a new one, creating a new process, and then the technology and policy development. Can you see that? So if you look at it that way, you begin to get a better understanding. But we are not there yet. Hold on. Let's keep moving. I told you that needs means problems or opportunities. Take that again, plug it back into the equation. So it means that business analysis is the practice of enabling something new or modifying something that already exists in an enterprise, which could be the products, the process, by defining the needs, the pain points, the problem, the opportunity. You need to define that first. That is the starting point of business analysis. Define the need. And that was what happened in that diagram, or that image I showed you. That, you remember the picture I showed you? The need was not assessed. There was nobody to define the need first. So even if we had done what they asked us to do, the guy wouldn't have gotten value because the need was not assessed. The need was not defined. Does that make sense? So business analysis will create something new, will modify it, okay? But the starting point is understanding the need, assessing it, completely defining it. And then the next step would then be to recommend solutions. What is solution? Think about it. This is easy, right? Think about it. What is solution? When you say, oh, I'm looking for a solution, what exactly are you looking for? Is it that you are looking for an approach? You're looking for a design, especially when it comes to organizations. You're looking for an approach, you're looking for a design, you're looking for a technology, you're looking for some type of features, you're looking for some type of steps in a process, and so on. So when you talk about solutions, this is what you're talking about. Simply put it this way, in a layman's term: approach, design, technology, features, steps in a process. So if you take this and plug this back into the equation, you will get something like this. Business analysis is the practice of enabling something new, like a new product, a new process, or modifying that product or modifying that process by defining the need, defining the problem, defining the pain point, and based on your understanding and based on the things you would have heard from experts, because this is not a solo job. You work with different departments, and that is why on our real project, you have to relate with the designer. We simulate what you would have in the real workplace. Because once you understand these needs from all these perspectives, you can then begin with the rest of your group to recommend features, recommend steps, recommend design, recommend approach. And you can even do this for something that you never knew anything about. Let me give you an example. I recently worked on a health project. I don't know health. I worked on a lens project, okay, contact lens, for one of the biggest manufacturers of lens in the US. Okay, the only thing I know about lens is physics, concave lens and convex lens, and then how to find out the power of a lens, all those physics terms. But manufacturing of lens and all of those things and the distribution, I knew nothing. So when I got in there, the first thing that I needed to do was to interact with the stakeholders to understand their need, to know how they do what they do, and as I was gathering this information over time, and that is what will happen to you. Nobody expects you to be a ninja in week 1 when you get on the job. No, they're not expecting you to be a ninja. So by reason of this interaction, you begin to see, oh, this is what they want. Oh, this is what they want. And you'll be documenting it as you go along. Because at the end of the day, there will be recommendations for features, for steps, for design. You will see the gaps. You see what needs to be done. And it may not even come from you. Recommendation sometimes does not even come from you. Are you getting the point? So you recommend solutions that will deliver value. What is value? Benefits. Benefits. So take that, plug that into the equation. You will have that business analysis is the practice of enabling something new or modifying something that already exists, like a product, like a process, like technology, like policies, okay? Or rearranging the, how people are distributed in a team or things like that, by defining the problem first, defining the opportunities, defining the pain points, and then recommending features, steps, design. Not just recommending it for recommending sake. You have to be able to see that it will bring benefits. Not the kind of change they tell you, and 4 years after the change, you are saying, is this really change? Not the boo-boo type of change. I know some of you don't know who boo-boo is, but don't worry, go and find out. Do your research. Not that type of change. Okay? This is when you say change, it has to be, in business analysis, when we say change, change should give you benefit. It should be an upgrade. So stakeholders. So what is stakeholders? Or who are stakeholders? Stakeholder is not what you know in politics. I know some of you are coming from a political background, and you think stakeholders are only those godfathers and people in your constituency. Stakeholders, when it comes to business analysis, is everybody and anybody, and I'm going to talk about that in the next class, so don't miss it. Okay, I'm taking you stakeholder management in the next class. Stakeholders is everybody and anybody that is affected or that affects the project. Hey, you didn't hear that. Let me deconstruct all the things you know. Stakeholders are those and is everybody or anybody that is affected. So like the customer will be affected, or that affects, if a government policy affects what you are doing, then the government becomes a stakeholder. So thank you, investor. Investor Sabinus can be your stakeholder. Investors, they withdraw their investment, is gone. Okay, so everybody and anybody that is affected or that affects the project. So if you put that in the equation, you have business analysis is the practice of enabling change, which is something new, something that you're modifying that already exists, okay? It could be a product, it could be a process, it could be technology, it could be, moving people around the distributed team, it could be departmental, it could be whatever. That is a part of that organization, okay? By first defining the opportunities, defining the problems, defining the pain points, recommending features, steps, design, approach, that deliver benefits to everybody and anybody that is affected or that affects the project. Because if you do not take care of compliance, government will come for you. You see, they will come for you. Do you see that? They'll come for you. So at the end of the day, this is the Babok guide. Okay, this is what you read for certification. Head knowledge. Okay. Business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. Aha. Let's now go to the TSG definition. Business analysis is the practice of enabling something new or modifying something that already exists in a product, in a process, in technology, in any department that has to do with that organization, by defining the problems, by defining the opportunities, defining the pain points, and recommending features, steps in the process, design, approach, etc., that deliver benefits to everybody and anybody that is affected or that affects the project. Please tell me you understand business analysis. Tell me that you have at least a picture, that you kind of like understand what business analysis is about to an extent. Please put yes in the chat. Let's know that we are making progress. Put yes in the chat. Put yes in the chat. Okay. Gradually, we are making progress. Gradually, we are making progress. Let's keep going. Now, in conclusion, some of the things which I said, which I didn't say, okay, is this, that business analysis has one or more of these elements. Number one, needs assessment. in business analysis, you will do business needs assessment. What does that mean? It means that you're going to look at where they are right now. You look at the current state. You look at what we call the as is, meaning what is currently obtainable. And then you begin to see, okay, what are the gaps? What can we do? You need to understand their desired future state. So they need to tell it to you, and you begin to ask questions. And that is what did not happen. That guy just came, boom, poured it, and people just took it and ran with it. Nobody to question it. Nobody to ask why. Nobody to dig into the why of the needs. So you will do some needs assessment. You will do stakeholder engagement, because these stakeholders need to be engaged. The expectations need to be defined, properly defined, managed. You see? We need to know what they're looking for. You identify them, you analyze who they are, you analyze their interest in the solution, and you will know how to collaborate and communicate with them. So there is no business analysis without stakeholder engagement. You will do requirement elicitation, meaning you will gather information. And we'll teach you that in Module 3, how to gather information. You will gather information. You will confirm that information, because if something goes wrong, they are quick. They were just like Adam and Eve. They are quick to blame somebody and say, he's the one that gave us the requirement. So you need to have documentation, which leads us to the next point. After confirming, you need to document it for reference. You need to document it. You look through the thing, you would detail it, you analyze it, break it down. And then you document it for reference, so that somebody does not come and say, I did not tell you. That is not what I told you. If things go south. You see? So you do requirement analysis and documentation. The next thing is traceability and monitoring. So like a monitoring spirit, you need to know where things are changing along the line. Because sometimes things can start, and we've done that several times on our project. Oh, our students can tell you. There's a particular project that we started, okay? We were going in this direction, and all of a sudden, the project sponsor came in and said, listen, this is how we are doing things. We are changing like this. So the business analyst needs to change all those documentation and change it now to the new thing. So we need to track things. How are things changing? Market conditions can change. So you need to be able to trace where they changed, get approval, assess the changes, throughout your business analysis effort. And there's another part of your work which is called solution evaluation. Who else would have the better understanding of what needs to be done on that project? You. So you can actually take a part of the full set of that solution and begin to test it. Don't worry. By Thursday, I will show you some of the projects we are doing, and I'll show you some of these things. Okay? You begin to test it. You begin to see, does this thing meet the requirements that we got? Does this thing actually meet the requirement that we got? You see? So you may be involved in solution evaluation. Now, I know you already know where business analysis, but I'm bringing you here because of a reason. Now, give me an extra 5-10 minutes, and I will show you a few things, and I'll be out of your way. Is that okay? Now, who is a business analyst? I've taught you change, need. I've helped you to understand business analysis, okay, and the components of business analysis, what you would likely see when you are doing business analysis. Now, I want to help you understand who is a business analyst. I know you already know who he is, right? Some of you already know, but there's a reason why I brought you here, and I will show you very soon. This is the reason why I brought you here, because according to the Babok Guide, and I agree with them, a business analyst is any person who performs business analysis task, no matter their job title or organizational role. So some of you will now begin to see the reason why I told you that there are some things you did in the past, which when you sit with a mentor, we can extract it and tell you that you are a business analyst. You are the only one who doesn't know. You're the only one who doesn't know. You're the only one who is not aware. A business analyst is any person who performs business analysis tasks, no matter their job title. One of the things, okay, I will say that next time. I don't want to go too far. Now, let us look at some of the tasks. Look at this. So if you have ever added value to an organization or a process in the following ways, please look at this carefully. If you have driven change, now there are 9 of these things in front of you. I want you to tick the box and see which one you've done before. And if you've not done anything here before, don't worry. We are here for you. That is the reason why you are doing a live project, so that you can have an experience. So if you've not done and had any this experience before, don't worry. So I want you to tick the box. You will tell me your answer in the chat. There are about 9 of them. Have you ever driven change? So if you've ever added value to an organization or process in the following ways: you've driven change, you've improved business process, you've helped to launch a new product or service, you've improved the current state of a product or service, you've helped a business to maximize profit and save cost, you've made a process more efficient, you've helped the business gain competitive advantage, you've recommended solutions to prevailing business problems, you've helped a business maximize opportunities by entering a new market, and we can go on and on. But if you've ever done any of this, please, before we go to the next slide, can you put your score? It's 9. If you've done like 9, do put 9 over 9. If you've done 8, put 8 over 9. If you've done 7, I want to see those of you who are saying you're not a business analyst. I want to expose you now. So put, and the nearest says 6, somebody say 9, somebody say 3. Even if it is 1, you are qualified. Somebody say 9, 9. So look at all these business analysts. Look at all these business analysts. You're the only one who does not know. You're the only one who you do not know you're a business analyst. I'll create a workbook for you guys, don't worry, for you to be able to document a few things. Okay, so you can begin to see that when we say business analysis, it's really not about the title. And this is what I've been trying to make you understand all along. And you will see how things unveil as we go along. So I can categorically tell you and point my fingers at you and say that you are a business analyst. You are indeed a business analyst. It's just that you're not getting paid for it. You're not getting paid for it. So wake up. Wake up. Get paid. All right? For it. Okay. Now let's conclude with roles and responsibilities. This is just a primer, and then we'll build on top of this by next class. Is that okay? All right. So what are the roles and the responsibilities of a BA? First, a BA will need to justify the need, okay, as part of his work, which is usually in some cases, right? He will justify the need. It's what we call business case, okay? He's going to do a business case to be sure that this is where we want to go, all right? So he will justify the need. He will define the need. You see, that was one of the things that was missing there. He will define the need, the current state, the future state. He will manage the stakeholders. He will facilitate meetings. He will gather requirements, understand pain points. He will question or challenge the requirements. He will confirm the requirements. He will analyze it. He will document it. He will communicate it. He will help the team and stakeholders understand it. He will monitor and track changes to that requirement. He will test the solution in some cases to ensure that it meets the requirement. At the end of the day, what he's trying to do is to enable a successful change. So he is a change enabler. Put all of these things together. You may be doing some or all. This will be your role, your responsibility as a business analyst. So business analysis, you will be doing all this. You'll be creating a product or enhancing it, enhancing a process, solving a problem, seeking to understand stakeholder needs, collaborating with vendors, exploring an opportunity. Okay, now if you look back at this, you can now begin to tell what happened, right? Isn't it? You can begin to tell what happened, right? You can begin to see things from a business analysis perspective, the things that were not done. Do you see? That gives you an understanding already. You see that? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, do you need to be techie? I think we've answered this question several times. No, you don't need to be techie before you can be a BA. Now, this is the point where I would tell you that when you see a job, when you see like 35,000 jobs, divide it to 2. Just divide it into 2. You should be qualified for about 15,000, half of it. Why? Because the rest may be technical. They may need some extra things. But guess what? Because you are doing product ownership as part of this course, you can cover up for those other 15,000 that you lost using the product ownership. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win. Because at the end of this course, you should be able to apply for product ownership and business analysis. Put that together, you get back your 30,000 jobs. I don't see any reason why you're not fierce enough, gingered enough to get the job. All right? Now, while that is true, while it is true that the BA does not need to be technical, There are certain things that the BA needs to understand. He needs to understand certain concepts. He needs to know how to use certain tools. He needs to employ certain techniques. He needs to deploy certain skills, and he needs to deliver certain artifacts to get the job done. Now, listen, this is where we come in. This is what this training is about, to help you understand the concepts. 1, to help you use the tools. We teach you the tools. We get into the tools. 2, to help you employ the techniques. 3, you will deploy the skill here, not tomorrow, not when you get the job. Here, you will do it here. The skill. Number 4, and you will build the artifacts. You will build them. You will create them. You will distribute them to real developers, to real designers. Okay? When we come to the next class, I will show you some of the things that, these guys have been doing. All right, I'll show you some of the practical stuff, how they write requirements for the designers, how the designers pick them up, how they're using them to, engage these designers in the requirements and things like that, for them to be able to get to things like this. These are all what students are doing. Okay, these are requirements that are written by students. Okay, and several other projects that we are working on. Okay, these students, collaborated with designers to do the low fidelity, and then high fidelity, okay? And then they would translate that into requirements at the end of the day. Okay, they would translate that at the end of the day to a board like this, okay? Or to a board like this. All right, just to show you some of the practicalities of these things, you're going to do all these things. So this is not like you're coming here to joke. We do live stuff, right? Okay, you will do all these things live with so these guys are obligated to come on the call with you because we actually pay them for their work, right? We pay them. This is not somebody we disguise. Yeah, so they are doing real work and they meet every day. Okay, like tomorrow we'll be meeting again with these guys every day, daily scrum and all of that stuff. So that is what we will be doing in this course. We'll be helping you understand the concepts. We'll be helping you see the tools. We'll be helping you understand the techniques. We'll help you see the skills. We'll be helping you, deploy the skills and do the artifacts. Some of those things I've shown you. All right. That is what we'll be helping you with on this course. So you can already begin to see that there's value in whatever you'll be paying for. So my task 1, which is not an assignment, okay, which is not an assignment, is number 1. I want you, because again, some people are not, they are not convinced when I tell them a few things. So I want you to go and do it by yourself. I want you to go and study 40 business analyst job description. I want you to know the similarities and difference. How many of these job descriptions require certification? And if they require certification, what type did they require? And what did they say? Did they say it's a mandatory thing? Did they say it's an asset? Because it's different for someone to say it's an asset and it is a must. It's a different thing, okay? What were they looking for on that job description? Before you run away with things that are not founded, people are just telling you things and you didn't find things. When I wanted to jump into this, I checked about 200 job descriptions. I'm not even kidding you. 200. If you are serious, you will start doing this. You will start looking at job descriptions from today. You don't wait till we finish module 3. Don't wait till you are applying for a job. Start looking at, okay, the things that Michael said today, where can I find it in the job description? And then that way, you will begin to condition your mind. You see, condition your mind as we go along. Condition your mind. You don't need to do this today. Just gradually. Maybe when you're on the train, you can check what on the bus. You can quickly check one job description, see what they are looking for. You see, check another one. See why it is different. Why one is asking for SQL and the other one is asking for communication. You see, that way you are now building. You are making yourself involved in the process, in your own process. You see, so don't be lazy about it. I won't do everything for you. So this is where to start. I won't mark this. Nobody's going to ask you for it. In fact, I will not ask you for it. If you like, do it. But if you're serious about this journey, you will do it. You can also study 20 product owner job descriptions. I want you to see the similarities between business analysis and product ownership. And I want you to begin to, see what kind of certifications they are looking for. Is it a nice to have? Is it a must have? What type of certifications do they require? That's what I want you to do.